Good Thursday morning, 11:30. We're going to be looking at the weather for the next 15 minutes. We'll give you a look at what we can expect the rest of today. What we're looking at for the holiday weekend, looks like it could be wet to start off the weekend for sure. And then we'll also look at the holiday on Monday of next week, Labor Day, of course, and we'll look into the rest of next week, at least the first half of next week. We'll also check the tropics. There's just one thing that the Hurricane Center is watching right now. It doesn't look like it has much of a chance to develop over the next 7 days. And of course, we'll be taking a look real quickly at the rest of the country and see where the active weather is out there for this Thursday morning. First off, let's take a quick look at what the rest of the day is going to hold for us. And we'll go with about a 30% coverage of some scattered showers out there for today, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms. We'll still manage to get up to about 90 today, fall back into the middle 80s by 6 o'clock, and then by 10 o'clock, we'll see temperatures dropping off to about 80 degrees, affecting lows tonight into the 70s. So, I don't know, keep the umbrella handy today. You might run into a little bit of a downpour here or there. There are a few of them out there. We'll show you radar here in just a minute or two. But overall, as far as widespread heavy rainfall, not looking for that today. That might come into play, though, more as we head towards late Friday night into Saturday. Allergy report looking a lot better today. Tree, weed, and grass all at 0, and mold is on medium. So I'll take that allergy report. That's not too bad. Keep those tree, weed, and grass at 0. That helps out a lot. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. We'll take a look at some of these Roofing 911 sky cams. And first one, right here at our 12 News studio, we're looking off towards the east. Definitely see partly cloudy skies for this late morning hour. Our Mid-County Plumbing is sponsoring this camera, and definitely looking pretty good out there. There are a couple of showers, like I said, starting to pop up. Can't see too many in this camera unless there's one off there in the distance, but starting to see those temperatures rising up into the upper 80s, getting close to those lower 90s. But had clear skies on this camera earlier this morning. Now you can see the clouds build up as we start to warm up late in the morning, and things start to change over. We'll switch over to Southwest Louisiana. That's the port of Lake Charles in the foreground there, and just some partly cloudy skies there as well. I have not seen too many showers over towards Lake Charles. I had one earlier this morning, but not too much. I don't see too much off in the distance, unless that's maybe one shower kind of off there. But yeah, that's partly cloudy skies over Lake Charles. Looks pretty quiet over in the lakes area there in Southwest Louisiana, but they are expecting a few showers like we are expecting for today here in Southeast Texas. Next camera, let's see if we can pull it up here in just a second. And I think we're going to go probably over towards Jasper. Jasper, you can see once again partly cloudy skies. This camera brought to you by Provalis, part of the Roofing 911 Live Sky Cam Network, and a few darker looking clouds there up in the lakes area. Haven't seen anything as far as any rain this morning, even though we've seen a few showers down here around the coast. Lakes area probably about a 20% coverage of maybe a few showers for today. That'll change as we head towards tomorrow. The front comes in from the north, and with that we'll probably see places like Jasper and Woodville over towards Newton get the rain first before it works down into the triangle here, and that's going to be, looks like late in the day on Friday, if not Friday evening at this point. Looks like Friday Night Football could be fairly wet. I'll jump over to Port Arthur. Once again, I haven't seen too much in the way of rain this morning, maybe a couple of showers. This camera brought you my market basket, and right now we have, say, partly to mostly cloudy skies in the Port Arthur area. Temperatures right now generally working their way up towards 90. Pretty close right now. Orange at 89, and Woodville officially about 89 as well. A lot of 88s on the board. Jasper, Kirbyville, Silsbee, Beaumont, all sitting at 88 right now, then 86 in Port Arthur. Conroe out to our west there is at 90. Huntsville's at 88. Houston's at 87. And Lake Charles, we were just looking at the camera over there, they're currently showing temperatures into the middle 80s at about 85. Here is radar, and we've just been starting to see these showers really pop up here over the last hour or two. Was pretty quiet just about 30 minutes ago across Jasper and Newton County. Now we're seeing these showers kind of pop up all the way up towards Newton and not quite to Jasper. Maybe one little lone shower there, extreme northern end of Jasper County. A little bit more widespread or heavier rains down across Jefferson County. Looks like we have a little batch of rain right along I-10 there that's a little bit heavy. Hardin County, Tyler County, right now you're not getting any rain. Looks like it's pretty dry there, but we'll see some of these showers kind of build back that way. There might be a lone shower just south and west of Lumberton there, but not too much going on. Orange County also just a few showers around. We'll zoom in a little bit here, and like I said, right along I-10 you can see some of these heavier showers. So if you're trying to leave here, maybe heading down to Winnie for lunch, you're going to be running into some rain On the way down there or heading from Winnie into Beaumont for lunch, you might be running into a little bit of heavy rain. Also heading out of Beaumont, heading down towards mid-county. There are a few heavy downpours in mid-county, so watch for that. And there's one lone shower over there towards Orange, so yeah, Orange is getting a little bit of rain as well. It looks like it's just right there on the south end of Orange. So we'll see these pop up throughout the day. Like I said, about a 30% coverage. Could be heavy at times, but I don't think it's going to be a washout today. You might catch a shower for a little bit, moves out, and then the rest of the day probably will be fairly dry. You might catch another shower randomly during the later part of the day. Here's a look at radar into motion, and like I said, here's the time up here. And 10 o'clock was pretty quiet, and then between 10 and 11, things really started to develop once we started warming up into those upper 80s, and we'll eventually get to those lower 90s. So we're seeing those spotty showers out there. Also, southwest Louisiana also starting to get some spotty showers as well. Maybe looks like their showers started a little bit earlier than ours, but definitely seeing some rain across the area for today, like spotty stuff. All right, here is what's causing some of those showers is this warm front. It's lifting across the area. Eventually, it'll be moving off towards the north, but still we'll see maybe a couple of showers here and there. And really along the coast of Texas, the upper Texas coast, that's about the only place getting rain across the state. Had some showers earlier this morning in the Panhandle. Those have moved off, and most of the state is just dry out there for this morning going into this afternoon. Like I said, that warm front comes in. We're waiting for this cold front, and that's about way back here in the Texas Panhandle. That's going to slide in here as we head towards late tomorrow going into Saturday. That'll be the focus for a little bit more in the way of some rain. Maybe 1 or 2 inches of rain starting maybe Friday afternoon going through Saturday afternoon. So something to look out for. Can't help but notice the heavy rain right now through Oklahoma, Arkansas. This disturbance is sliding off towards the south and east, so it looks like it'll bring some heavy rain to northern Louisiana, eventually maybe even down as far south as New Orleans. Definitely Mississippi getting some heavy rain, in Arkansas as well, getting some pretty heavy rain for this morning. Looks like right along I-30, I-20, getting some very heavy downpours there. But like I said, for us, just maybe some spotty showers. Let's take a look at what's going on around the rest of the country. And you can't help but notice the rain right there in the middle of the country. I just showed you coming from Oklahoma, Missouri, down through Arkansas and Mississippi for this morning. A lot of this stuff I think is going to miss us. We don't have to worry about it too much. As we look around the rest of the country, we have a little bit of rain up towards the Great Lakes, Michigan, back into parts of maybe upper New York State. A little bit later on this afternoon, we'll be catching some showers out there. Florida looks pretty quiet for today as compared to the last couple of days. Southeastern U.S. really not much going on right now. Intermountain West looks pretty dry, and we have some moisture coming into Southern California. So good news for them. They could always use a little bit of rain, it seems like, and they're getting some of that moisture to come in. Looks like down towards Death Valley, over towards Yuma there in Arizona. So getting some rain there. It looks like the Pacific Northwest is pretty dry. Definitely Northern California and Oregon, not much going on there. And then the upper Midwest also looking pretty dry for this morning. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast. Futurecast may be overdoing it just a little bit as far as the coverage around 1 o'clock. I think we will see 30, maybe 40% coverage, but not as much as we're showing here. It does show that things die down after that first batch of rain kind of slides through. It does show things dying down. I think we still have a chance for maybe a few spotty showers through, say, late afternoon, early evening. And then by the time we get towards 10 o'clock, we'll go partly cloudy with temperatures in the lower 80s. Overnight, we'll fall back into the 70s. We'll see temperatures generally into the middle to lower 70s. And then as we head into tomorrow, I think through lunchtime we'll be okay. Then after lunch, we could start to see that front move in, maybe a few scattered showers up towards the lakes. And then by 5 o'clock, you can see things really starting to take off as far as the showers and thunderstorms. So at this point, at least according to this particular computer models, a couple of others as well, looks like it could be a wet Friday night football out there as we get towards, say, 7, 8 o'clock. This stuff will be sliding through the area and probably be off and on until we get into a Saturday afternoon. That front's going to slowly push through the area. It's not going to sweep through quickly, but a slow moving front, and that's going to keep those showers and thunderstorms firing up off and on. Like I said, maybe a couple of inches of rain late Friday going into looks like Saturday. Out in the Atlantic, there's only one thing the Hurricane Center is really watching right now. That's a disturbance that's coming off the coast of Africa. It's got a ways to go before it reaches anywhere. It's got a long way to go across the Atlantic. And right now, the chances of formation are 0 through the next 2 days and only 20% as we go through the next 7. Looking at some of the long-range computer models, don't really see anything developing out of this, but things could change. We'll continue to watch it. Like I said, at least be sometime next week before it would even come close to coming towards the Caribbean or the U.S. or anywhere like that, and we'll have to wait and see if there's anything to develop out of it. But right now, they just give it a low chance of maybe some development, so not too worried about that. Our coastal marine forecast for today: a south wind of 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet. High tide coming up here tonight at 9:07. We had one earlier this morning, right before 6 o'clock. Our sunset tonight's at 7:43. Look for a light chop on the inland lakes and bays. We're seeing some of those showers pop up along the coast. And at Texas Point right now, we have a southwesterly wind at 11, and we have some gusts to about 14 miles per hour. As look at our forecast for today, variable clouds. Some places partly cloudy, other places mostly cloudy. I just showed you that on our sky cams. About a 30% coverage of some rain out there for today, maybe a little bit higher rain coverage towards the triangle, maybe as high as maybe 40% today, and we'll see light south winds at 5 to 10. Temperatures holding right around the lower 90s for early afternoon, and then I think with some of those showers and thunderstorms will drop off in temperatures a few degrees as we get towards the late afternoon, maybe some upper 80s, right around 90 degrees. For tonight, we'll go with just partly cloudy, really no rain expected. Couple of showers maybe near the coast. We've been seeing those the last few mornings, and then we'll see temperatures holding into the middle to upper 70s tomorrow morning as we walk out the door into the triangle here. Middle 70s towards inland southeast Texas, which basically is Hardin County, southern Jasper and Newton counties. And then in the lakes, we're looking at temperatures back down into the lower 70s. We might go as low as 73, 72 for places like Jasper, Newton, Kirbyville, and Burkeville. All right, our 7-day forecast, we have that wet period Friday into Saturday, 50-60% coverage here. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be coming in on Friday night. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more scattered than we're looking at right now, and maybe just a few games catch some rain, and some others will be dry. But right now, we'll go with a fairly wet night. Could be some just some wet fields out there, that's for sure. Hopefully, we won't have to deal with too much in the way of lightning. If we got lightning, then we'll be looking at some delays and things like that. But right now, we'll go with 50% chance of mainly rain, maybe a few embedded thunderstorms. Saturday, looks like that front slowly gets down towards the coast, but still a 60% coverage of some scattered showers and thunderstorms around that front. So we'll go with some wet weather on Saturday. And then Sunday, I put in just a few isolated showers with maybe a little bit of leftover moisture, but not much. And you'll see highs into the upper 80s. After that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to dry things out. Look at that. Morning lows around 71. This is triangle lows, 71, 69, and 70. So that means we'll definitely have 3 or 4 mornings there where the lakes area are going to be dropping down into the 60s. That's going to feel very nice. As we start into the beginning of September, we don't typically see 60s out there for the beginning of September, but definitely in the lakes area, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, looking at some lows in the 60s. And we might even drop into the 60s here ourselves in the triangle. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday morning, we could be seeing 68, 69, so that will feel very nice. Good news is that it should stay dry. We don't have to worry about much in the way of any rain for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're a little actually over 2 inches behind at the Jack Brooks Regional Airport, which is our official rain gauge for the area. So in that location, we haven't been getting quite as much as other places around southeast Texas. So some rain's not going to be bad. Unfortunately, it comes right when you don't want it. That's typically what happens, right when you need to have some outdoor plans. It looks like we